last week, Eddie Hearn was adamant that the announcement for the Usyk Joshua rematch would happen before the announcement of AJ's new TV deal. But it turned out to be the opposite way around. Not sure what that's all about. In any event, August 20th is the date, and Jeddah, Saudi Arabia is the location. It has now been confirmed that this rematch between Usyk and Joshua will take place. Now, the first fight was in September of 2021, so it will be nearly a year out the ring for both of them. Obviously, Usyk has had issues in his country. I don't mean him, but his country's had issues, and that will have affected Usyk to some degree. Anthony Joshua has been trialing lots of different trainers. He's finally settled with Robert Garcia and Angel Fernandez. Who do you guys think the layoff, the 11 months between the two fights, is going to benefit most? Will it be Anthony Joshua or will it be Oleksandr Usyk? Perhaps you don't think it will benefit either of them, but in a way it's the same kind of question in terms of asking who will it be more of a detriment to, right? It's the same question really when you think about it. So for me personally, I suspect that the layoff will benefit AJ more than Usyk. I just don't know whether it will benefit him enough to be able to win the fight. As I've said many times in previous videos, ideally, I would like to see AJ have a couple of fights in between, a couple of tune-up fights before facing Oleksandr Usyk, just so he can bond with his new training team, so he can understand them, so they can understand him, and so he can perhaps practice some of the tactics and techniques that he plans on using against Oleksandr Usyk. Now, to put it in perspective, when Tyson Fury was apparently looking at the undisputed fight with Usyk, Fury wanted a fight in between. He didn't want to go straight into the Usyk fight, according to Egis Klimas, Usyk's manager. And this is a guy coming off a knockout win over Deontay Wilder. It's not like he was out of the ring for months and months or years or whatever. He was, he'd been relatively active in the sense that I know he'd only had one fight in the past year, but it was recent. It's not like there would be a huge gap between the third fight with Deontay Wilder and the Usyk fight if it had taken place. And again, Usyk's people were not happy with Fury wanting to have this interim fight, a tune-up fight before facing Usyk. So to me, that's indicative of how seriously Tyson Fury was taking Usyk. To me, this is indicative of a guy who knows that Usyk is a serious threat, despite all this stuff he's saying about him being a middleweight and what have you. I think Tyson Fury respects Usyk a lot more than he lets on. So and obviously the situation in Usyk's country transpired after that failed attempt to make the undisputed fight with Tyson Fury. So anyway, I think that AJ would have benefited and it would have been ideal for him to have a couple tune-ups before facing Usyk, because the first fight, yeah, AJ landed a few shots, he marked Usyk up, but he lost it comfortably on the scorecards. And if anybody was close to getting dropped or stopped, it was most certainly Anthony Joshua, not Oleksandr Usyk. Remember, this is a fight that Usyk fought in AJ's backyard, literally. So there are people talking about how much better AJ can be in the rematch. Very few people talking about how much better Usyk can be in the rematch. Maybe Usyk was only at 80% or 70% of the first fight. Who's to say that he won't be far better in the second fight? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the rematch finally being announced. Again, who do you think the layoff benefits more? What do you think will be the impact of the situation in Usyk's country on him psychologically? Do you think it will play into the fight at all in terms of the outcome? Yeah, just let me know and talk about tactics. What do you think Usyk could potentially do different or better this time around? What do you think AJ could potentially do different or better? What does he need to do? Leave it all in the comments below.